Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Tez coming at you with, like I promised, the Danmachi review. Not doing the live reaction, but I'm just gonna go over episodes 1 and 2. So man, let's get into it. Yo, episode 1 started off pretty nice. So we see Belle, Wealth, and Lily in the beginning again, clearing a dungeon with Makoto. Just normal stuff, going through, doing their thing, fighting off a wave of beasts. And we still always know the reason behind Belle wanting to attain power or to get stronger is so that he could catch up to the woman that he admires and adores, which is Eyes. So after getting out of the dungeon and actually getting into the episode, we see them later at a pub sometime in the evening where they're basically just discussing things, hearing about Wealth actually obtaining a new ability because he's a part of the blacksmith's familia. I think is Hephaestus. I could be wrong, but I believe that's the goddess, or in this show, the goddess of the forge, though Hephaestus is the actual guy in the real mythology. So, Lily's like, oh, are we gonna just be breaking up, or you're gonna be leaving us? Wolf lets them know that no, that's not gonna be happening. Just because he got what he wanted doesn't mean he's gonna split up with them. And then we see this young man who just starts running off at the mouth, talking all this stuff about Belle, because Lily references that the fact that he could be close to attaining level 3, which is, in their world, leveling is something that takes time. It's never something very easy. And for any of you who've watched, we all know Belle has an ability that allows him to more or less gain extra experience or grow. His potential growth is a lot faster than normal humans or anyone else in the world, whether they be of the standard race or any other races that may exist, that when they adventure. So it's just a part of who Belle is. So this young man begins to keep saying and spitting all this stuff out, and they're like, don't say anything, don't bother with it, just let him talk his mess. And then he says something about Hestia, which is a soft spot for Belle because he cares a lot for his goddess. She's the first one to take him in, saw the potential in him more or less, and he wanted to basically do his best to grow her familia so that people would respect Hestia a lot more, as well as set out to attain his goal that his grandfather, or the guy who raised him as his grandson, instilled in him, to adventure, go join a family, and all those things. So once this young man said something about Hestia, Belle, kind of, it's like, stop, quit talking that trash. But then Wolf kind of just, he throws a beer at his face and just like splash hard, but caught the butt of the cup right to his face, which then causes his table, which is of his familia, to get up, and things are going to get a little interesting. We find out that these individuals are part of the Apollo family. Not heard of them ever, didn't even know, but I'm pretty sure a lot more goddesses have familia in the show. But the Apollo family is someone who's pretty well known, just like I believe it's who else is there's another goddess who Ice belongs to. I can't think of the family she belongs to, or the goddess's family she belongs to, but that's also another big family. So they get into this whole bar scrap, things are getting heated, and then this one individual steps up from the table. He was sitting most of the fight till it got down to the last bit when Wealth's like, who else wants some? And he stands up and everyone's like, yo, that's Phoebus Apollo, and he hands everybody their butts. And it was mostly just Wealth and Belle actually fighting. So he hands them their asses, puts him down, almost looks like he's going to kill Belle, like he makes him bleed. And then someone in the back stops him, who's a part of Isis' party, the wolf guy, pretty well known. And he tells Belle basically, quit talking big talk if you can't back it up, more or less. And that's kind of where it ends. And later on, when we get back, there's this invitation from the Apollo family to Hestia after Belle goes and sees his actual advisor, his adventuring advisor, which is the elf lady who also has a crush on Belle slightly. And they get invited to this party. So we're seeing everyone that we're familiar with. We see Freya, we see Hermes, we see Eyes again, we see Makoto, we see all the people. And then we're actually introduced to Apollo himself, who looks just like, in my opinion, Julius Caesar, because he has the olive branch crown and everything on. And you think everything's going good for the night. There's some laughter, there's some fun, there's some comical things that happen, because Hestia is very protective of Belle. She loves Belle, she likes Belle, and she doesn't want any other women, whether it be Eyes, Freya, anyone taking Bell from her or getting his attention, because she wants him to only have eyes for her, which he kind of does, but at the same time, he knows he can't be with a goddess. So even though he cares and loves Hestia, he really wants or loves Oz just as much, because he's the one, or she's the one, sorry, he's been pushing so hard to catch up to, because when he first saw her, she saved him in the dungeon, and he was like, yo, that's the most embarrassing thing, more or less, to be saved by somebody, but she's so beautiful. I want to be strong like that. I want to be strong enough to basically stand side by side with her, or be the one protecting her. So as everything winds down, Hermes sets Belle up to basically end up dancing with Oz, and she looked really nice. He was, more or less kind of shy, and everyone on the floor is trying to give him advice. You're both adventurers. Don't look too deep into it. Just go with the flow, because he couldn't dance. He never danced, and Oz never actually danced either. So they got into a rhythm, and it looked really nice. The animation was nice. The music was good. And then after the dancing is done, Apollo comes right back out, and he confronts Belle and Hestia regarding the incident the other night at the bar. Oh, and also it's known that he can be very petty. He's very spiteful, very, very spiteful, and he set this whole thing up to challenge Hestia to a god war, or war games, sorry. And if he wins, he takes Belle from her. Now the thing is, everyone, or a lot of the gods, know about Belle, like how rapidly he's grown, his abilities, some of the things he's accomplished that make no real world sense as far as things go in their world. And a lot of them are seeking him because he could definitely make a strong person's, he can make someone's family really strong, or it could be more or less to just determine how to make some of their own people stronger. But it just looks good to have somebody like that in your house, I'm assuming. So yeah, he challenges them to the war games, basically to know, if I win, I'm taking Belle from you. But he has this disgusting look in his face, like, he's up to no good. He's really up to no good. And prior to that, I meant to mention this earlier, when the dancing was going on, everyone was like, no. Hestia was like, get away from her. Freya was like, can we send in a herd of minotaurs? Because she likes Belle also. Like, she was basically the one who put Belle in the situations he was in during season 1. So she's like, can we send this in and do something about that? Because she wants Belle for herself too. And I'm just like, yo, she has something with minotaurs. Like, either she's obsessed or that's just her go-to. But yeah, that's episode 1 right there. Stay tuned. I'm gonna also be covering episode 2 in this video. So in between time, catch this little break, and I'll be right back. All right, so now that we're back from our break, we'll finish breaking down episode 2. So getting into episode 2, we find out that Apollo has this obsession with Belle. He thinks he's very cute, and Hestia shouldn't hog him all to herself. Apollo is very perverted. I think he likes men and women, nothing wrong with that, but that's kind of why he's going after Belle, maybe. It could be a little more to it than that, but Hestia outright denies him. She doesn't want to have the war games, nor does she want to have anything to do with Apollo, as he referenced something back when they were in heaven about them being so in love. But she said, I blatantly turned you down. So that was a complete no, that was a farce, that was a lie. And we find out that the war games are basically a fight between the family, where the rules are decided amongst the gods to make them even and fair, and the winner takes all, meaning house, children, money, anything and everything. The loser loses it all. So at this point, when they're getting out of their home, which is the little rundown chapel, we see the Apollo family outside of their home, and then they just start opening fire, which sets off this massive long chase for Belle. They're trying to actively get him to join the Apollo family, but he doesn't want to do that. That's not something he wants to do. And then we find out the 2 ladies who gave Belle the actual invitation to the party, the same thing happened to them. When Apollo sets his sights on anyone, he will pursue them to the ends of the earth. Like, there's nowhere that you'll be able to go. There's nothing you'll be able to do. He will not stop until you give in or you join his family. And this whole long chase, you're seeing everyone all across the city, it's just being spread that the Apollo family has opened up the attack on Hestia, and basically they're going after Bell. So this triggers all of his friends and allies in the city, to come to his aid, which I find very admirable. You're seeing everybody but Oz, because her actual god told her not to, which is okay, because it's more or less along the lines of you pick and choose your battles, and they don't want to cross Apollo. They don't want to have anything to do with this particular issue. It's something that Hestia has to be able to resolve on her own, as she is a goddess in her own right too. So Wealth gets in on it, Lily gets in on it, Makoto gets in on it. Everyone, all his allies come to his aid at certain pivotal points, but then he has a confrontation with Hyacinthos, the guy who they called Phobius Apollo in the previous episode, the guy who's literally given his body and soul to Apollo. Like he I guess in a sense he loves Apollo so much he'd be willing to lay with him, take anything that he's willing to do to him, and accept him for who he is, perverse in all manners and ways. And that in itself is just sick and twisted. But he's giving Bell a thrashing, boy. He's cutting him up. He's literally sick and twisted. Like, a lot of them in the families are very weird. Because also when Lily joins, alongside with Wolf, when they get back and Bell recovers, you see somebody from Lily's actual house show up, and she instantly has this look on her face, like she becomes hypnotized, and tells Wolf that she's sorry for bothering Bell. She'll go back to her own house, and she'll never darken his doorways again. Which is, we know there's something up with her goddess, or her god's home. Like, it's really weird. They are actively trying to get enough money to, I think it was to be able to purchase a type of drink. Like, it's hypnotic to people. It turns them into crazed people who want to constantly drink it. But in order to get out of the home, we know Lily's trying to actually pay her way out, or get enough money to get whatever it is so she can get free of her god's home, because it's just not a good place for her to be. So at the long end of it, we find out that at the long end of it, we get to this point where they've run so far. They've only gotten as far as the southwest region of the city. They end up right at Apollo's home, where Hestia accepts the challenge for the fight, and she tells Bell that he has to do everything in his power to basically get as strong as he can in order to win, because this isn't going to be easy. He needs to be the strongest. He needs to be strong, and he needs to train. Like, they know about Lily being taken by her family, because earlier Hestia saw the emblems of the god of the drink. I want to say that's Dionysus, the god of the drink, but I could be wrong, because they said several other different names. So we'll just see when it gets there. But yeah, she's like, we'll rescue, support her, we'll rescue her, they'll rescue Lily, but first they have to do whatever it is they can to win this match. And Bell then goes to try and seek counsel from Oz, and everyone's like, oh, we know, the guards, like, we know what you're trying to do. You're trying to ask her to come join your family, to assist you, because he's the only person in Hestia's family. Like, Familia, Hestia only has Bell. She has no one else. Anybody that's usually with Bell, his party consists of a ragtag group of people from different houses or affiliations from different things in their world. So he's only the one true representative, so he has to be the one. So he gets to the gate, and one of the twins stops him, but she whispers something, and he gets down, brushes himself off, and like, cool. And then he goes around the corner, and there's Tiona and Oz. And Oz didn't think it was okay to abandon Bell. Like, we know Oz has a soft spot for Bell. She loves Bell, and she agreed to train Oz. And it's gonna be interesting. Like, they're like, yeah, take Apollo's house down some. So guys, things are heating up. Like, I didn't expect season 2 to start off in such a way, but it's really good. It's really good. I'm interested in seeing how much further Bell can go, because I did read the manga at one point, but it literally stopped just about at the end of where season 1 actually stopped off at. A little bit past that, and it hasn't gotten to where it is now in the show. So I'm going right alongside you guys, and I'm just looking forward to seeing what else could possibly be coming. But with that being said, guys, if you like anything that I've said, if you enjoyed this video, leave a thumbs up. If you didn't, leave a thumbs down. Be sure to comment if you got anything to say, or if you also like reading Danmachi, watching Danmachi. Is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon? Let your boy know, and I'll holler at y'all next time for episode 3. Peace. Have a good one.